On PlayStation 5, some games aren't just fun, they're experiences you have to live through. From emotional stories to epic boss fights, these are the top 10 must-play PS5 single-player story games you really shouldn't skip. Horizon Forbidden West throws you into a huge, living open world where nature and high-tech machines collide. You play as Aloy, hunting massive robot creatures, gliding off cliffs, and diving through flooded ruins to uncover the mystery behind a dying Earth. Combat feels great, whether you're sniping weak spots with a bow or setting traps for giant metal dinosaurs. With incredible visuals, smooth performance on PlayStation 5, and a genuinely emotional story, it's one of those adventures you just don't want to rush. Alan Wake 2 is a psychological survival horror game that feels like playing through a high-budget TV series. You switch between two characters, FBI agent Saga Anderson, who is investigating ritual murders, and writer Alan Wake, trapped in a twisted, dark place trying to rewrite reality. Every step feels tense, ammo is limited, the flashlight is your lifeline, and shadows can turn into monsters in a second. What really stands out is the atmosphere, incredible lighting, clever camera work, and scenes that constantly mess with your expectations. If you enjoy story-driven games with mystery, horror, and slow, heavy combat, Alan Wake 2 on PlayStation 5 is one of the most unique, unforgettable experiences you can play right now. Assassin's Creed Mirage takes the series back to its classic roots, with tight stealth gameplay in a dense, lively city. You play as Basim in 9th century Baghdad, sneaking across rooftops, blending into crowds, and using smoke bombs, knives, and parkour to move like a ghost through the streets. The focus here isn't on a massive open world, but on a shorter, more focused story about Basim's rise from thief to master assassin. Assassinations are fast and brutal, detection is punishing, and planning your approach actually matters again. If you miss the old-school Assassin's Creed feeling, with stylish parkour, social stealth, and a rich historical setting, Mirage on PlayStation 5 is a great, compact experience to dive into. Demon's Souls on PlayStation 5 is the game that really shows what next-gen feels like, but it's also brutally honest about your skill. This is a full remake of the classic that started the Souls genre, with completely rebuilt visuals, new animations, and almost instant loading. You create your own character and fight your way through the kingdom of Boletaria, where every enemy can kill you if you get lazy for even a second. What makes it special is how fair it feels. When you die, and you will die a lot, it's almost always your fault. You learn enemy patterns, you figure out shortcuts, and each boss you finally beat feels like a real achievement. The atmosphere is incredible. Foggy castles, twisted dungeons, eerie sound design, and haunting music. Add online messages, co-op summons, and invaders, and the world feels even more alive. If you want a challenging, deeply rewarding action RPG that truly uses the power of PlayStation 5, Demon's Souls is a must-play. Ghost of Tsushima. Director's Cut on PlayStation 5 lets you live out a full samurai movie. You play as Jin Sakai, riding across windswept fields, bamboo forests, and burning villages as you fight back against the Mongol invasion. You can face enemies head-on in stylish samurai duels, or slip through the shadows as the Ghost, using stealth tools and fear. The Director's Cut adds the Iki Island expansion, plus faster loading, 60 frames per second. Elden Ring on PlayStation 5 is the kind of game that completely pulls you into its world and doesn't let go. You play as a Tarnished in the Lands Between, a huge open world full of ruined castles, poisonous swamps, hidden caves, and towering bosses that can flatten you in a few hits. What makes Elden Ring special is the freedom. If a boss is destroying you, you don't have to bang your head against that wall. You can explore somewhere else, level up, find new weapons, spells, and spirit summons, then come back stronger. You can build a heavy greatsword warrior, a fast katana samurai, a holy paladin, or a pure mage firing lasers from across the arena. On PS5, the faster loading and smoother performance make constant dying much less painful, and the art direction is insane. Giant golden trees, stormy cliffs, dark underground cities. You can play alone, call in NPCs, or summon real players for help. If you want a challenging but incredibly rewarding adventure that you'll be thinking about even when you're not playing, Elden Ring is a must. Ghost of Yotei is all about quiet tension in a frozen land, where every step in the snow feels meaningful. You play as a wandering Ronin caught between human warlords and ancient mountain spirits around Mount Yotei. One moment you're dueling another swordsman in a blizzard, the next you're tracking strange lights in the forest, unsure if they belong to enemies or something older. Combat is sharp and deliberate. A few clean strikes, perfect parries, and well-timed dodges matter more than button mashing. Stealth is just as important. Slipping through camps at night, cutting lanterns, distracting guards with wind chimes, and choosing whether to spare or finish your targets. As you progress, you unlock new stances, spirit-infused techniques, and gear that lets you lean into either honorable samurai or fearsome ghost. If you like story-driven samurai tales with a strong atmosphere, moral choices, and stylish swordplay, Ghost of Yotei feels like stepping into your own legend. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5 feels like playing a full Marvel movie you can actually control. You switch between Peter Parker and Miles Morales, each with their own powers, moves, and story moments. Swinging through New York is faster and smoother than ever, with web wings, instant fast travel, and crazy set pieces that barely give you time to breathe. The combat is stylish and heavy, thanks to new symbiote abilities and bioelectric powers. If you love story-driven superhero games with big emotions and bigger boss fights, this one is a no-brainer. The Last of Us. Part 1 on PlayStation 5 is less like a normal game and more like playing through a full HBO-level drama. You step into the shoes of Joel, a broken smuggler, escorting a teenage girl named Ellie across a ruined United States after a deadly infection has wiped out most of civilization. What makes The Last of Us Part 1 so powerful isn't just the infected or the brutal combat, it's the relationship between Joel and Ellie. Their conversations, the quiet moments, the arguments, the jokes, all of it slowly turns a simple job into something much more emotional. On PlayStation 5, the remake really shines. Better facial animations, more detailed environments, improved lighting and sound design. Every small expression and every whispered line hits harder. Combat is tense and grounded, with limited ammo, brutal stealth takedowns, and encounters that always feel dangerous. If you want a story-driven single-player game that actually makes you care, The Last of Us Part 1 is one of the most memorable experiences you can have on PS5. God of War. Ragnarök isn't just more of the same. It feels like the payoff to everything Kratos and Atreus have been through so far. The world is literally freezing over. The gods are angry, and you're stuck in the middle trying to figure out whether you're going to fight fate or help it along. At its core, it's still a story about a father and a son trying to understand each other, just with world-ending prophecy and angry Norse gods on top. In combat, it's pure satisfaction. You still have the Leviathan axe that you can throw and call back to your hand, and the blades of chaos for faster, more aggressive fighting shields and new skills give you more ways to play. You can go defensive and precise, or lean into aggressive, stun-heavy builds. Enemies actually push you to use your full toolkit, swapping weapons, using runic attacks, and working with your companions instead of just mashing buttons. What really helps is how varied the game feels. One moment you're exploring quiet, beautiful realms, solving puzzles on a boat. The next, you're in a huge boss fight that looks like something out of a big-budget movie. Side quests aren't just filler. They add to the world, to the characters, and sometimes even change how you see Kratos. On PlayStation 5, the fast loading, smooth performance, and detailed environments make it easy to lose track of time if you're into story-driven action games with emotional weight and heavy, crunchy combat. God of War Ragnarök is one of those games that actually deserves the must-play label.